Hey guys, what's up? It's been half a year since I bought the Blistered Wheels company, so it's time for an update. I just wanted to let you guys know what we've been up to, what's new, what's the same, what's coming, and stuff like that. So basically, if you didn't already know, Bailey was trying to sell his company because he didn't have time to run it, and it's a lot of work. And it's a really cool thing he created, but he wasn't able to really bring it to its full potential, and he was just too busy with his other jobs and his kid on the way and stuff like that. So we talked about it and found that I would be a really good fit to buy the company and keep it going. So that's what happened. And so here we are. If you didn't know, Blistered is a urethane wheels company. So Bailey designed everything from scratch. He figured out the production methods basically by watching how real skate wheels are made and figuring it out on a small scale and stuff like that. So Blistered wheels, they are hand-poured urethane wheels, and that's different than flat face wheels, for example. Flat face wheels are machined, so they're machined out of specialty materials. As you know, there's a whole bunch of different materials we use for flat face wheels. They each have their own feel, stuff like that. And they're machined with very tight tolerances, so they're like super high tech and super precise. Anyways, these are also super precise, but they're made in a totally different way. So Blistered wheels are made out of urethane, same as a real skateboard wheel. And this urethane is soft and grippy. It is the same urethane that Blistered started with and always used. So basically what I wanted to start with in this video is tell you guys what stayed the same with Blistered. Basically everything, but to be more descriptive, we kept all the wheel shapes, we kept the same production methods, the same material. A lot of people have been asking, is it the same material? Are you changing it? I've had people ask, like, why not make it into flat face, blah, blah, blah. But the purpose of it is that Blistered is Blistered. It's its own thing. They are really cool wheels. A ton of people love them. They're my favorite urethane wheels. They're so good. They feel awesome. A perfect mix of like really good feeling and performance. So they don't make it harder to fingerboard. Like a lot of urethane wheels just kind of make it tougher. And I find like these wheels are just really, really good. It kind of changed my mind on like urethane wheels in general, which I've already said. So I'll try not to repeat too much stuff, but just in case you didn't know what was going on, this is what's going on. So we have all the original shapes still, and then I've added some more shapes. So basically my mentality with the company is keep it what it was and then make it better. So not change anything fundamental, like, you know, the wheels are the same material, same shapes as before, stuff like that, but then adding additional options. So it's kind of like the next stage of growth for the company where you have everything that you had before, and then you have some new stuff. So we have like flat face collaboration shapes, then we have the original Blistered shapes. So I'll read the list of shapes real quick. I wrote it down just so I don't miss any. I know them all by heart, but there's so many. We have like 15 shapes now. So on the Blistered side, we have conical, which is basically like a little bit of a bigger G4 wheel. And it's just barely bigger, and it's a little bit more squared. So those are really cool. And then we have a bigger version of that called the Conical XL. And that comes in two versions. One of them I have right here is the Tiger. These have a tiger like engraved kind of graphic on the front, which is super sick looking. And we can fill that in with ink so it really pops, or we can just leave it so it's like very subtle and textured. And then we have the caramel version, which has a caramel engraving on the wheel, and then it also has the caramel ceramic bearings. So that is a collaboration, and that's original to the Blistered company. They had that before I bought it. Then I also introduced a new collaboration, which is the Joy Cult bearing collaboration, which has been super, super popular. So what we do is we get the Joy Cult bearings, and we put them in G4 shaped wheels, which I'll get to in a minute as I go down the list of shapes. But actually, we can put them in other shapes too, but we mostly put them in G4s, sometimes in V3s, and we might put them in other shapes later. But yeah, the Joy Cult bearings and the caramel bearings are both like special collab options. We have them once in a while. They usually sell out pretty fast, but you know, they're limited edition. We can't get that many of the bearings because those companies need their bearings for their wheels, understandably. So when they have a little bit of extra, they kind of let us do some collabs, and they're super popular. The caramel ones, I have some in this actually. You can hear. Still rolling. Anyways, I'm not gonna waste your time, but they roll for a long time, and they have that kind of like, you know, the ceramic feel, the ceramic sound. They're louder than our standard bearings. And then the Joy Colts, do I have them? Yeah. The Joy Colts also roll super long. A little bit quieter than the ceramics, but still louder than our normal bearings. So yeah, if you like a really long free spin kind of wheel, these are super cool. The Joy Colt bearings and the caramel bearings as well. Try them both, see what you like. Then for other shapes, so we have the flat face V3. This is our collab shape from when Bailey first, or not first, when Bailey still owned the company. He already made this collab with me. So these are really awesome. I have a couple sets here. You can see them with the painted text. So they have engraving, it says BFFB, which is Blistered Fingers fingerboard, and then flat face logo. And then there's 2 of each, so it's like symmetrical. And most of them we don't paint them in, so it's like a subtle engraving on the side. And then the painted ones are like super special limited editions that look really cool. It's basically, it's a graphic wheel, and all these graphic wheels are like engraved and filled with paint, so the design doesn't really wear off. It's like super durable paint, and it's inset into an engraving, so it's just there and lasts for a long time. I've seen people using them for over a year and they still have the graphic. So that's super cool. Another original blistered shape, we have the V5 Street, which I don't think I have here. I have a ton of setups, but I'm always changing the wheels out. Like I said, we have 15 shapes. So the V5 Street is a thinner wheel, and it's got a centralized or like very close to centralized bearing. And what it does is it actually makes it so like the distance between your wheels is smaller, so the truck feels like it's less wide. And it's a pretty significant difference. I have all the dimensions listed on the website. You can read about it. But if you use the V5 Streets, it makes your setup a lot skinnier, which is really cool. Good for small boards. Like if you put them on 32 trucks, I forget, it makes your actual truck measurement like 30.5 or 31, something like that. Check it on the website for all the different truck sizes and configurations and stuff. But so that's like our skinniest wheel, and skinniest set, it's like set inward because of the centralized bearing. Those also have text on the outside, which is cool. We can paint them or we can leave them blank. Then we have the classics. These are formerly known as radial. So when it was blistered under Bailey, these were called radial. And as I was learning more about wheels, I realized that it's not a radial shape. And I asked him, why is it called radial if it's not a radial shape? And he's like, oh, I kind of ran out of names, so I just called it that. So I decided, let's call it classic because it's kind of like a Spitfire. I think it was Spitfire Classic. I could be wrong. Maybe it was Bones. Whatever it was, it's like a classic shaped wheel. It's got like the real nice rounded edges, a little bit thin wheel with like, you know, a little bit thinner riding surface. So these are really cool. They feel awesome. I got the marbles on this one, so it's like a white with a subtle marble pattern on it. Really cool. And then for mini wheels, we have the MGFB. Those are 7 millimeters diameter and 5 millimeters wide. So it's like a wide and short wheel, which is super fun. And those have the text also. So there's cool stuff we can do with the painting and all that. Then we got 2 more shapes original to blistered. So we got the street tires, which I think I showed those in the last video too. It's kind of like a novelty thing. And the other one is the Street Pro, which is also kind of like a novelty thing. The Street Pro have lines in the riding surface itself. So basically it's like, you know when you buy a new skate wheel and it has like the lines from the manufacturing? It's basically that, but it's not actual machine lines. It's like we just put that straight into the mold, so they have that. And those are pretty hard to make, so they're very limited. Like we just have small batches of them. But that's, yeah, so that's all the original blistered shapes that I got with the company and continue to make all of those. And then the shapes we added, we have a whole bunch. So we added basically any shape that I want to come up with, I can add if I want. So I started with the flat face G4 right off the bat, and Bailey helped me with that, and then I learned how to kind of do it on my own. So I added, after the G4, I added G6s and then G1s. And then John Cowart was here. He had this cool idea for like a larger wheel that's slightly asymmetrical. So this is like one of our biggest wheels, and they feel really good. These have been super popular for good reason. They just feel amazing. So they're pretty big. And yeah, so we designed this wheel together and put that out. So it's the John Cowart Pro. The G6 is the flat face G6, a little bit of a smaller wheel. Used to be basically a standard wheel shape, but at this point it's considered small just because over the years, like fingerboarding got bigger, I guess, like literally, but also the boards got bigger, the wheels got bigger, everything got bigger. So G6 used to be like a normal size wheel, and now it's a little bit on the small side. So if you like a little smaller, older style wheel, the G6 is really classic. And then the G4 is like, of course you guys know G4. Got tons of sets of them on all these setups, a bunch of them. These, this one, that one, maybe another one. Yeah, this guy also. So yeah, the G4 is basically like the most popular wheel of all time, at least for flat face. Everybody loves the G4 the most. It's a little bit wide, a little bit tall, perfect rounding. It's just like your overall good wheel. G4 just works on anything, everything. There's no setup that wouldn't benefit from G4s. So those are the flat face shapes I added. And then I came up with this cool thing, kind of originally as a joke, and then it turned out to be so good. So this turned into a real thing, the asymmetrical wheels. These are based off like the Ishad wheel or the Andy Anderson one. I forget the name of it at the moment. And basically the back of the wheel, like where the truck goes, is pretty flat. It's like more of a sharp cut. And then on the front of the wheel, like the outside of the board, it's like super rounded. And so what that does is gives you the benefits of both. On the inside, you get better lock-ins on your grinds. And then on the outside, you kind of like get a better tipping point. So like flip tricks just feel really good. So it feels like a round wheel when you're riding it. It doesn't really feel like square like a conical or something. Like our conical fulls are pretty square. These don't have that squared feeling, but the back is the same squaredness. So yeah, feels really cool for like grinds. It just kind of helps you lock in. Obviously it's not a real skateboard, so you're not really gonna slip out, but it still applies just on a smaller scale. So yeah, that's all the shapes. No, it's not all the shapes. I'm gonna introduce a new shape. I don't even have it in front of me right now, but there is one more shape coming, the G9.1 shape. So I took the flat face G9 wheel, which is actually just a G4 with dual bearing. And then what I did is I cut the edges a little bit. So instead of being a full radius, it's like a radius and then it stops. And then I also made the inside like an actual conical, like skate wheel conical, not like our conical fulls, which are actually flat on the side, but made it like true conical on the front. So it just has like a totally different look and it looks super sick. It's basically a G9, but a tiny bit different looking. Well, kind of a lot different looking, but it's based off the G9. And the size is almost identical to like G4, G9, but just like 2% thinner. And yeah, so the dual bearing wheels are super sick. When I got Blistered, there was no dual bearing wheels. And so I wanted to add some dual shapes to the company, and these two are just perfect. So you have like the ASIMs, which are super cool and unique. And then you got the G9.1 is gonna be like a more standard, cool, normal wheel. And yeah, so materials. The original material is still the material. So all the Blistered wheels are made with the 60D urethane, which is soft and grippy, like I mentioned. And it's a very unique feel, and it's part of what makes Blistered Blistered. So no chance on changing that. That's staying for good. But what we did do is I added a second material, and it's more of like a limited edition thing. So like 99% of blistered wheels are the original material. And then once in a while we do these drops where we have 72D. And so we tried a few different materials, and the one that I settled on is like really, really special, and it's called the 72D Ultra. And so it's a harder urethane, and it's almost as hard as like a plastic wheel, but not quite. And you can definitely still feel like that it's urethane. It has a little bit more grip to it, but it's just super, super hard and smooth and very special. The G4s with the 72D Ultra took us a long time to figure out how to make. Originally, we could only do dual bearing wheels with the 72D because it was too hard to get the bearing lock for a single bearing in, but we finally figured out a way to do it. Took a long time, and it actually takes a long time to make the wheels because it's an even crazier process. So the 72D wheels are super limited, like I mentioned, mainly just because it takes so long to make them. It's kind of like we could make a lot of wheels in the normal material, or we could set aside the same amount of time and make like very few sets of the 72D. So it's like, you know, do we want to produce 3 or 5 sets in a day, or do we want to produce like 20 or 40 sets? So usually we use the regular material, but this stuff feels super good too, and I like it a lot. So once in a while we put out special edition like 72D Ultra batches, and those are those harder ones. And yeah, other than that, material is always the same on blistered wheels. All the different colors are mixed by us. All the wheels are poured by us. So we're pouring them into molds, and what a lot of people do is they machine their urethane wheels, and what that does is kind of gives you a different surface feel, and the whole wheel is going to feel different if it's machined versus if it's poured. So that's another like special thing about blistered, is that it's truly hand poured urethane into a mold, same way as skate wheels. There's a lot of other steps we have to do, but you know, to finish the wheel and to get the bearing in with the bearing lock and all that stuff, it's a long process and it's super hard, but the actual pouring of it, and then, how do I say, the surface of the wheel, we never touch. So the surface never gets like machined or sanded or anything like that. The riding surface is just as smooth as the mold is, and as perfectly, you know, it's a machine perfect circle. It's very, very precise. So you get a really good wheel, a really good feel on these wheels because of that. So basically, after running the company for a while, the first thing that was a challenge was like, we couldn't really make many wheels. Like we'd make maybe 3 or 5 sets in a day, and then they would sell out like as soon as I put them on the website, and then it would be like a few more days till we had more. And that was going on for a long time. And then we gradually improved and got better. And there was like some parts of the process that I was able to improve without changing them, but just optimizing things like, oh, why are we doing this way when we can, you know, use this and do it this way and make it a little bit faster, a little bit more productive and stuff like that. So over time, a lot of developments occurred and things got more streamlined in the sense of like being able to make more than just a few sets of wheels per day. And we still can only make like not that many wheels per day, but it's a lot more than when we started. So pretty much everything is sold out most of the time still, but I'm trying to get everything in stock like reliably so that you can just go on the website and order, which you still can, but it's like there's not that many options at once usually. So we're getting there, and we've been able to increase production a lot. It started with basically 2 of us. I had to hire somebody pretty much full time to do Blistered with me because I can't do it all myself, which is part of why Bailey had to sell the company. He couldn't do it all himself. It's like way too much work for one person. So yeah, so I started with 1 employee and myself, and then now we're at the point where we have like 5 people that are trained to do like almost all the steps of the process. So we're all helping each other out, working as a team, and you know, making a lot more wheels. Still not as many as we want to, but a lot more. And it's enough that like most people are able to get them now, which is cool. As far as pricing goes, I did have to raise the price of the wheels because I have to pay 5 people. And even when I'm just paying 1 or 2 people, like depending how many people are working, as you can imagine, it's a lot of money compared to like doing it fully yourself where you don't have to pay anyone. So the expenses have gone up in that way, but it's worth it because we can actually make enough wheels that people can get wheels. So it's better to have wheels, have them available for sale for a few dollars higher than to just have nothing available. So the original prices were like a little bit lower than they are now. But something cool that we've done is that we still have wheels that are available, super affordable most of the time. Whenever we do a big drop, I'll put up a few sets of mystery wheels. I'll put up combo packs, and I'll put those at like $30, $35, which is really, really affordable. We don't make money on packs like that, but that's just kind of to help people who want to try blistered wheels that don't have that much money so you can get some. But overall, the wheels are generally priced now at $45 a set, which is consistent with like the flat face wheels pricing and all that anyways. And then we have some special wheels that do get a lot more expensive because there's certain things that are, either more expensive to make or more time consuming to make, more difficult, all that. So if you see wheels that are priced all the way up to $65, but some of them are like $50, $55, it just depends on the wheel. There's reasons that those ones are priced that way, but it's important to know like all our base wheels are $45 or so, sometimes $42, and then the combo packs where you get like 4 different color wheels of a set, stuff like that, $35. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of explain the pricing structure a little bit because depending what's in stock, you may not see like the cheapest ones. They'll sell out really fast. But we do our best to like make everything available. And basically we're having wheel drops like once or twice a week lately. So usually Fridays and sometimes like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Could be whenever really, but lately it's been like almost every Friday we have a new drop. So if you go on the site and it's pretty empty, just check again and see. So now customer service, all that stuff is run through Flatface, as you guys can imagine. So we've had really good success with the wheels like being really good and not having too many problems. Compared to how many sets of wheels we sell, it's very low that anyone ever has an issue. But if you were to have an issue, you could email Flatface and we'll send you out a new wheel. Like I said, everything's pretty limited. So like if you have a specific wheel and we're out of it, we might just have to make a new one. So it could take like a week or 2, depending how busy we are and how difficult the wheel is to make and stuff like that. The wheels do take a process of multiple days to produce now, but anyways, if we don't have your wheel in stock and you need a replacement, we can always make it, which is really cool. So anytime there's an issue, we got you covered. Same with any flat face stuff. If you have a board, if you have a flat face product and something's not right, email us, send a picture, send your order number, and we'll take care of it. Tell us what's wrong with it or whatever, and we'll either help you out if there's like a misunderstanding, or if there's actual like product problems or whatever, we'll send you a new one. Oh yeah, the logos. So here you can see a couple new logos. This is the original one, a new black and white version, it's shiny. But basically I did this Blistered logo contest and people have been asking me a lot about it. So we haven't actually decided on a new logo because there was like nothing that quite fit what we wanted in terms of like the main logo for the company, but there were designs we liked a lot, which is these 2. You can see on my shirt too. Really like these a ton. Not sure like if it'll become a main logo or just be like a side, like, different designs for the company. But basically, a lot of people entered really cool stuff, and then a lot of people entered like AI created stuff. So it took a really long time to just go through everything. And then there was a few different ones we liked, but basically at first, like me and Bailey couldn't agree on one. Like there were certain ones I liked and there's certain ones he liked, and we both didn't like the ones that each other liked. So just having different tastes like made it more difficult to choose one. So at the moment, there's no like new logo chosen, but we have a few different logos that we can use for stuff. So it's not like the highest priority at the moment because we're really just focusing on making the wheels, and you know, people know about the wheels and they want them, and we almost never have like white wheels in stock, off-white wheels in stock. So that's really our goal right now. I'd love to spend more time on like logo kind of stuff, but it's kind of, you know, it's important, but the actual fingerboarding and wheels is more important at the moment. So that's what we've been doing. Speaking of white and off-white, this off-white color took us like multiple months to figure out. So it's a really good color. All the colors that we have is like we have to mix the pigments by hand and get the ratios right and create our own colors out of, you know, a few base colors basically. So that's a lot of fun, and there's all kinds of cool swirls and Lloyds and crazy stuff. The Lloyd is when it's like one color on the back of the wheel and then it fades to a different color on the front of the wheel. So yeah, there's all kinds of like so many limited edition wheels that we've been making and cool things. Let's see, what else we got? So we've done a few cool collaborations. One of them is with Black River. So we have a G4 wheel with a Black River skull on it. It also has a flat face logo, and it says G4 and it says BFFB. So it's like three-way collab kind of thing. We actually made a four-way collab version of it with the Joy Cult bearings, very limited. But in general, these are G4 wheels. They have the Black River engraving and all that. And then they can be painted, so like graphic wheel, or they can just be blank engraved, so it's more subtle. And those have been really, really cool. People loving those a lot. It's a huge honor always to work with Black River. They're like one of my earliest inspirations and longest inspirations in fingerboarding. And, you know, they did a lot for the scene, built it up from practically nothing, and, you know, made all those events, even in Germany back for so many years. They've been doing these events, and I saw videos, and that's what inspired me to like get people together for the Rendezvous and make the Rendezvous here in the US, which was like the first event here. And then tons of people started doing events over time, like after seeing that you can do it. So that's all because of Black River. So it's really, really cool to have these collab wheels with them. You can buy them in Germany on their site. You can buy them in the US on our site when we have them in stock, which is really rare these days. But we're trying to make more. We'll have more eventually and stuff like that. And then we've also been selling wheels to like different distributors. So if you're in a different country, like Indonesia or Japan or Germany and various other countries too, we've been sending out some Blistered wheels to them, so you can buy like from different shops. And that's just awesome. It's really cool to see like worldwide support for these wheels. People are really, really enjoying them a lot, which is cool. A couple other collabs we did was we did a Slush Cult like special orange color, and then we did a Index like white and blue colorway with the painted text on the wheels. So those are cool. There will be more of those eventually. They all ran out, and we're working on making more. And we're open to more collabs in the future too. So like tons of collaboration going on. Black River, Joy Cult, Caramel, and then those special colorways, and yeah, it's really cool. And then also there's like kind of collabs between Blistered and Flat Face. So this here is a flat face urethane dual durometer wheel in our new V2 shape, and it's super smooth. These are like glass. So the difference between flat face urethane versus blistered urethane is the molds. The molds for the flat face wheels are made with my techniques using like the same equipment that makes the flat face wheels actually. And then they're poured into those molds the same way as a blistered wheel is. So it's really like a cool crossover, and you get a much different feel. So if I make the same wheel, like let's say like a G9 or something, if I were to make it with the blistered type style mold versus a flat face one, you'll feel like a big difference. And which one is better is up to your own preference. So the flat face ones are like super like glassy feeling, if that makes sense. And then the blistered ones, they're also like super precise. I don't know how to describe it. It's like you get a little more feel to it, if that makes sense, versus the flat face ones are like, you almost don't feel anything because they're like too smooth. So it's all up to personal preference. You get like a really shiny wheel with the flat face urethane, and that does make it feel a little grippier on the 60D, just because you get so much surface area touching, because it's like microscopically touching. Like it's crazy. You'll see it if you try them. But yeah, so we have flat face urethane as like a side project. It's not the same as Blistered, but it is the same materials and same people making it. It's all us. So everything's made in-house, which is really fun. I've been spending tons of time making wheels, as you guys know, and stuff like that. And then another thing is recently I got the Blistered trucks finally. So these are back in stock. And one thing that I did right away was I made a little improvement with the pivot cup, and it really changes the game. So these trucks, they turn a lot better. If you've ever tried the old ones, they're the same trucks as the old ones. There's no like new batch or whatever. It's just the trucks are back in stock, same trucks, but the pivot cup changes everything, because the old pivot cup was too flimsy and it basically wasn't doing anything, is what I found out as soon as I got the trucks. And I was like, huh, raised it up with a more supportive pivot cup that I designed, and it kind of stopped the wheel bite. Like you would get a wheel bite really easily, and now you don't. So now these trucks are really good. The performance is awesome. They turn better. They feel super good, nice and responsive, super hyped on them. So Blistered trucks are also designed by Bailey, 100% from scratch. It's a huge project he did. He actually had to sell his car just to make these. If you didn't know, making trucks is very, very expensive if you're gonna make them, like really make them, not just buy them from somewhere. So he got his own molds made, and he designed the whole thing from scratch. It's got his logo on the hanger and base plate, which is cool. And yeah, it's nice. It's a professional fingerboard truck, and especially with the new pivot cup, and then depending how you set up your bushings too, these are like really good. So I actually recommend adding a second bushing on the bottom. That's just for my own preference though. It depends how tight or loose or high or low you like your trucks, but they are really, really good now. So even if you tried them before, all you have to do is spend $5 on a set of our new pivot cups, and then you can upgrade them to the new standard of how they are. And so if you buy the trucks now, they come with that pivot cup and you're good to go. They're super, super good now. And they are only in one size right now. So as I mentioned, the molds are extremely expensive to make. So if you want to make a different size truck, you have to make another mold. So at the moment, it's just one size. That could change in the future, but not anytime soon. So as far as, yeah, sizes, they're 34. I need to measure them because I have them on this flat face board and they fit perfectly. So they might be slightly less than 34. They could be like 33.5 or something like that, but they're considered 34 millimeters. They fit perfect on a 33.6 millimeter board, or wider, of course. And yeah, so the Blistered trucks are sick. They are better than ever now. They come in chrome, and they have gold bases or chrome bases. And then we have a few sets of the raw left. They're almost sold out completely. And I'm not sure about getting more, like when that would be. So if you want the raw ones, if you see them on the site, get them. The trucks turn out to be a lot more work than we imagined also, kind of like the wheels. So we have to like hand thread the base plates and make the pivot cups by hand also, which is like surprisingly difficult. It's like making wheels, but it's cool. It's worth it because they come out awesome. But yeah, because of the amount of work it is, basically the trucks will kind of be in stock, out of stock, like off and on. So if you don't see them on the site, just check back in a few days and hopefully they'll be back again. And what else? I'm also going to be offering more like Blistered tuning stuff. So based on these trucks, we'll be selling like individual bushings for people who like these bushings. They're, you know, unique to Blistered. They're 40A, like super soft bushings. I'm going to release them in a few colors soon. We're going to have lock nuts, gold lock nuts, silver lock nuts, raw lock nuts, black lock nuts, stuff like that. Just like various tuning. Another cool thing about the trucks is you can change it from standard to inverted kingpin. So the trucks come with both of those, and then we'll also probably sell like replacement ones if anyone needs them. Just sell like the standard kingpin or the inverted kingpin like as its own little tuning thing. So yeah, look out for like a few cool blistered tuning options, and we also have like replacement parts if anybody needs them. If something breaks that you buy from us, you can always contact us, but if you just want to buy extras or whatever, you can also do that on the website. So just like Black River sells like single first aid stuff, so we have like the same like single base plate, single hanger, stuff like that. That's about it for the trucks at the moment. Okay, so the Blistered team is another thing. So we have the whole original team from before, and then we also got a few new people on the team. So check out the Blistered website, which is also new and updated, and I've been kind of working on keeping that updated fully so that you can see the whole team, all their profiles on there. Kind of like an old school kind of like team websites used to always have like profiles on the people, so I was happy to bring that back. So each person, you can learn about them and see their links to their clips and stuff like that, but also just like random questions that they answered on there, which is cool. So we added like 4 new people, and I'm gonna send you to the website so you can see who they are. They're really good fingerboarders, and the whole Blistered team is awesome. We're all like a little family. We got this little group chat going, and we're always talking together and fingerboarding and talking about fingerboarding stuff, and yeah, just using wheels. So check out blisteredfb.com. You can learn about the trucks, the wheels, the team. There's a link to buy the stuff on the Flatface site. And oh, you know what I should do? I just thought of this. I should add a distributors list. So I will get on that soon. But yeah, go to the blisteredfb.com website and enjoy. So now I'm just going to answer some questions that people wrote in with, and then we'll call it good. Okay, first question is, another Blistered Joy Cult collab in the future? Yes. So as I mentioned before, the Joy Cult collabs, they're super rare just because we can't get a lot of bearings, and a lot of people want the wheels compared to how many wheels we can actually make with that amount of bearings. So there's always going to be more, but they probably won't be in stock like that frequently. So hopefully once or twice a month, if you get lucky, you can get some, and if not, just wait till the next drop and try again. But yeah, we do plan on making as many of them as we can, and we've been making like a lot more of them than we expected, which is cool too. So they will be back, just have to be patient and get lucky a little bit. Let's see what else we got. Oh yeah, somebody said you should make a flow chart to help decide which version of wheels to get. So I started that last night. It'll be done soon. I think that will be pretty helpful for people. So hopefully within the next few days, or whenever you're watching this video, hopefully it's already up. There will be a link to that flow chart on the Blistered site, and probably on the Flatface site too, like on the, if you go to wheels and then Blistered, and then before you click on a shape or whatever, just like in the top description, I'll put a link right there. So that'll be cool. Let's see. Somebody asked, is it possible for you guys to make resin wheels? Anything is possible, but there would be some differences in the production process and stuff. And personally, I haven't tried resin wheels yet that I really liked, so I don't know. I'm sure there's good ones out there, but I don't really see the advantage or the reason to. So at the moment, it's not something I'm doing, but you never know. Maybe I'll explore it one day. Not right now though. I gotta focus on getting white wheels in stock. That's been our goals for months, and it hasn't happened yet. So I want to have every shape in stock in white and in off-white, and we don't have that yet. So until that happens, I don't want to branch out too far into like new things and experimenting and stuff, but I am always open to trying different things. So we'll see, but not now. Let's see. Any G6 blistered wheels coming to European distributors? So as I said, I do want to have all the wheels available, every shape in stock, and then whatever's in stock, any distributor can buy. So Yes, but I don't know when. Like I said, the problem that we had or have is a really good problem, but the problem is that everything sells out faster than we can make it. So, you know, every time we make a batch of G6 wheels, it's like sold out within a couple of days or so. So hopefully soon we'll have more and we'll send some to Europe. Oh, here's a good question. So I kind of touched on this before, but this person said, what made you want to keep flat face and blistered separate opposed to combining them? And so basically, like I said before, blistered is its own thing. They're very different from flat face wheels. And, you know, it's an entire company created by Bailey. It's another person, and he sold me his company to keep it running. So to me, it wouldn't make sense to like merge it or get rid of it or change it like too drastically or anything like that. The point is to keep blistered as blistered and bring it to its full potential, but keep it as the same thing at its core, which is these hand-poured urethane wheels made with the materials that he found and the methods that he created and all that, because that's what makes blistered wheels. So that's why they're separate. But we do have a lot of crossover, like collaboration shapes, and you know, the 72D Ultra material once in a while that I added, stuff like that. So there's like little hints of flat facey things at times, but it's two separate things overall. What's the biggest difference between the blistered material and flat face material? So flat face wheels generally are hard and not grippy. And then there's variation within that because we have like 20 different materials. So there are some flat face wheels that are softer or harder than others, and some have a little bit of grip and some are more slippery. But basically, all the blistered wheels are urethane, and that makes them soft and it makes them grippy. And then the 72D ones are a harder urethane, but it's still urethane, so it's got that grip to it and it's a little bit softer than a flat face wheel still. So those are the main differences. Some people like urethane wheels, some people like plastic materials, some people like both. So try them out, see what you like. Personally, I've always preferred plastic, and once I started using blistered wheels, they were like the first urethane wheels that I really liked. So even if you don't think you like urethane, give them a try anyways and see if you like them, because you might. But yeah, something for everybody, and there's like a lot of different variations and stuff, which is cool. Somebody said, thoughts on doing a street shape or G7.1 dual bearing 60D urethane flat face blistered wheel? So we actually have flat face urethane G7.1 dual bearing wheels already. The thing is that they're probably out of stock just because we got so many shapes and so many wheels to make, but they'll be back soon, and they're really awesome. Where did you get the name Blistered? So I got it from the company that already existed, but Bailey got the name Blistered from, he said it just means kind of like being a hardworking person and getting blisters on your fingers just from like working hard. And he's not wrong. Like, these wheels are so hard to make, you pretty much do get blisters. Like, I don't have any right now, but some of us have gotten them. So yeah, it's just from like working hard on these wheels. All right, looks like that's basically all the questions, because most of it is stuff that I already answered during the video just by talking. So hope you guys like this video. My battery is about to die, so I'm gonna wrap it up. And thank you for supporting Blistered. See you later.